Hello everybody, my name is Citrus, and as you can see, things are a little bit different right now. I'll get to that in a minute, because right now, we gotta talk about the new Sonic game, we gotta talk about Sonic Colors Ultimate. By the time you're seeing this, the full, actual release will have happened, but I have been playing the Digital Deluxe version, which means I've been playing since like Friday, September 3rd. So I've had some time with the game, you know, I beat it, and I've got many thoughts. This isn't like a formal review or anything. I kind of just want to talk about it. Keep in mind, I haven't 100%ed the game. I have beat it, but, you know, I haven't done everything. Also, I'm mostly just going to be covering the new stuff in this version of the game, because I feel like it would just be way too long of a video if I went over everything about Sonic Colors, the original game. So we're going to try and keep it to just the new content and what I think about it as a sort of remaster. It is important to give context for what I think about the game itself before we get into the new content though, so I'm going to keep it brief. Colors was never really my favorite of the 3D boost games. Actually, before Sonic Forces came out, I considered it the worst of the 3D boost games, but then Forces came out, and you know what? I realized things could be a whole lot worse. Just because I had and kind of still hold that opinion, doesn't mean I think it's a bad game. I actually think it's a very good game. It's just, compared to stuff like Unleashed and Generations, it is a game I find myself coming back to less and less. In my opinion, Unleashed had a very good story and plot with some fairly serviceable gameplay. You know, there's some moments here and there that aren't as enjoyable. And then with Generations, you have top-notch gameplay, but a very boring, not at all interesting story. So they both have their strengths and weaknesses. While Colors is very middle of the road. The plot is just serviceable, the gameplay is good, but it's still not as good as the other boost games, so it's kind of just serviceable also, creating a very, what I would call, mid-game. I said that in a video like ages ago, and then one of my friends, he didn't get mad at me, but he just always brings up, he's like, mid-game, I'll show you a mid-game. Anyways, my original thoughts on Colors, I would probably give it a 6 or 7, depending on how I'm feeling that day, really. So when they announced Sonic Colors Ultimate, I had mixed feelings. You know, at first I was like, I wish that they were doing a different game, one that I liked more. But at the same time, I was interested to see how they might change it up, fix some things, and hopefully make it a better experience. I remember before release, people were saying some pretty crazy things. People were saying like, oh, what if they combine the story of Sonic Colors DS with the gameplay of the Wii version? Or like, what if they combine some of the acts together, like how it was initially planned while they were developing the game? Personally, I didn't really think that any of that was going to happen. I was fairly certain it would be a pretty straightforward remaster of the game with enhanced visuals and a couple of new things, and I was pretty much right. There are 3 big new additions along with a lot of changes, so we'll start with the big new stuff first. One of those being the Jade Ghost Wisp. It's a new Wisp that lets you go through walls and get some different collectibles. They actually changed the placement of some of the red rings in this game to accommodate this new Wisp. The other big new thing was customization. You can actually kind of dress up Sonic a little bit. You can change his glove color, his shoes colors. You can change his boost kind of animation, so you can have it be more fiery. You can have it be ice, I think. There's light. There's various ones. And the last big addition that they added was Rival Rush mode, where you compete against Metal Sonic in a level and you're just trying to race him to the end. All of these new additions I think are pretty cool, but not all that substantial. You would think that adding a new Wisp to the game would greatly change up the level design, but they keep it pretty light. They change just a couple of things around to make the Jade Ghost useful, and you know, just try and implement it where they can. It's nothing that crazy. And then in terms of customization, it's all cosmetic. It's all very basic. It's honestly, it's one of those things where when I saw it in the promotion, I was like, I wish they just put a little more effort into it and made it something a little more exciting than just, oh, you can have green gloves now. A little bit of a side tangent, but I just saw this Sonic Generations mod where you can kind of customize Sonic to have like Espio's gloves or like Shadow's shoes, and I don't know, something like that would have just been really cool rather than just changing the color, change what he's actually wearing. In any case though, it really wouldn't have changed the game that much, and that's just sort of me wanting more fan service in this game. And then Rival Rush is actually probably my favorite of any of these new additions to the game. It is surprisingly difficult. These races with Metal Sonic really test your knowledge of the stage, the best routes to go for, which wisps to use at what times. It's pretty difficult. It's actually, it's given me a surprising amount of challenge in this game, considering Sonic Colors has always been one of the easier Sonic games. But there are only 6 levels, which is kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. Seeing as it is one of my favorite new additions to the game, it just would have been cool to see more. Right now there's only 1 Rival Rush level for each of the worlds. I think it would have been cool to at least have 2 per world, because I feel like with the acts and with the levels in the game, usually each world has at least 2 levels that I would see as being pretty good for Rival Rush, but as it stands, 1 per world, 6 in total. It's serviceable. It's fine. Like I said, all these new additions are cool, they're just nothing groundbreaking. They're not going to make you change your opinion on colors. However, there were other kind of smaller things, not so much additions as changes to the game. And this is where I think Colors Ultimate has a much bigger impact on the original game, and has actually caused a little more controversy than some of those other things. Right off the bat, let's just talk about the visuals. Yeah, it's a remaster, so it's, 1080-60, except on Switch, where it's 1080-30, I think. And the lighting has been updated. And oh boy, the lighting has been updated. Trust me, I am not a graphics snob. I play most of my video games on the Nintendo Switch, where everything looks like goddamn cheesecake. And even in this game, I think it looks pretty good for the most part. A lot of people compare it to the original, this and that, and oh, look at the bloom, this, whatever. I think the game looks pretty good most of the time. However, there are certain areas where I think the Wii game actually looks better. It's not a big deal to me because I feel like even the parts that look slightly worse than the original game still look good, still look fine. I would certainly consider them different rather than worse. What isn't as nice is the cutscenes. Now, from what I understand, I think I read an interview where they said that they could not get the original files for the cutscenes, so instead what they did was they took the cutscenes that they had, the video files, and simply AI upscaled them to make them 1080p, which certainly is better than nothing. I'm glad that they did that instead of just leaving them at whatever resolution they were originally at. But that doesn't mean it looks that great. In fact, it has this weird effect. I don't even know how to describe it, but if you've ever watched AI upscaled videos, you can kind of tell when there's like a lot of movement. It can look a little blurry, a little weird. I don't even know if this is like because of the upscaling. Some parts look a little bit like washed out. It's very odd, and it makes the cutscenes not very enjoyable, I'm not gonna lie. Certain things just look pretty bad. Again, I understand they just lost the original files, so they couldn't re-render them at the proper resolution. It's just a little disappointing, and it's one of those things that makes me think about game development. Like, so many companies you hear about just losing source files. Square Enix, they lost the source code for Final Fantasy VIII, one of their most popular games. How does that even happen? Like, I thought you guys had it sorted out. I thought that's why you're like a company. Anyway, Sonic Colors. Another big thing that they changed from the original is the live system, where they just got rid of it. There is no live system in this game. Now when you die or fall off a ledge or whatever, you restart at the nearest checkpoint, and you can keep on dying over and over again. You'll never get a game over. Another new feature that they added, which kind of ties into this whole no game overs thing, is tail save, where if you have a tail save thing, and you fall off the edge, Tails will come and pick Sonic back up and put him back onto the nearest ledge. It's clear they made these changes with new players in mind. They literally said in an interview that they were remastering Colors because they thought that it was the best game for new people to enter the series with, which makes sense because the movie just happened. There are a lot of new Sonic fans out there who want a new game to play. So yes, remastering Colors and making it a bit easier makes sense. But it just seems a little weird that there isn't an option to have the original gameplay there, or like the original live system, removing the tail saves, just the core original Colors experience. No, everyone has to be playing basically on easy mode. I'm not mad that it's here, and I do think that having the option would have been nice, but it's not an option. Everyone has to play with this, and I think that is kind of dumb. And speaking of things that really should have been an option, let's talk about that soundtrack. So Sonic Colors Ultimate remixes pretty much all of the tracks from the original Sonic Colors, and they do something pretty interesting with it. So in the original Colors, there were 6 acts per world, and there were 3 songs per world. So what would happen is the first 3 acts would have, their songs, and then they would repeat for the next 3 acts. So you'd hear 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 again. Now, in this Sonic Colors Ultimate, what they do is the first 3 acts have remix songs. They're remixes of the original soundtrack, and then the last 3 levels use the original songs, which is a really smart way of doing it. I actually really like that. I think it's smart where you have both the remixes and the originals included in like one package. What is not smart is not having the option to just play with the original soundtrack, because I know there are a lot of people who really don't like these new remixes. I've been watching a lot of reviews of Sonic Colors Ultimate from different Sonic tubers and all that, and one thing that seems to constantly pop up is people don't really like the new remixes, or the new OST, which is one thing where I think I'm in the minority. I actually really like the remixes, most of them at least. There are certainly some where I'm like, yeah, the original is better. Planet Wisp comes to mind. Some of the later acts, like, usually the Act 2 of a world, like whatever remix that is, isn't very good. That's just something I've noticed. But I will say Aquarium Park Act 1, Asteroid Coaster Act 1, and all of the boss fight remixes. So good. But regardless of how I feel about this OST, whether I like it or not, it still should be an option to just play with the original soundtrack for the entire game. And it's just something that I've noticed with this game, a lack of options. It's a really weird thing. With the music, with the live system, it just seems like things that should have been there in order to get the pure Colors experience, but instead it's just not there, and it seems like something that could have been really easily added. On top of all this, there are a bunch of minor, smaller changes that I think usually help the game. You have stuff like there are new dubs for different languages.
Oh là là! C'était vraiment fou!
There's a timer at the bottom of the results screen showing you how much time you have left to goof off and break all the numbers. There's a new special homing attack thing where if you time it just right, you can get a bonus boost gauge from it. There are a lot of really small changes in this game like that, where unless you are literally playing Colors and playing Colors Ultimate and just going back and forth between them like some kind of psychopath, you probably won't notice a lot of these smaller tweaks. And I think that's where a lot of the strength of Sonic Colors Ultimate as a remaster comes in. not in this huge stuff like, oh, you can customize Sonic, or oh, they changed the live system, but in just these small little quality of life treatments that make the game just a little bit better. With all that said, we gotta talk about these glitches. Okay, if you've ever been on social media in the past 3 or 4 days, you've definitely seen these Sonic Colors Ultimate glitches. And yes, during my playthrough on the Nintendo Switch, I experienced quite a few glitches. This might be... I don't want to say it's the most glitches I've experienced in a Sonic game, because I have played a bit of 06, and I have, you know, had some funny moments in, like, Sonic Adventure. But it is pretty rough to see it firsthand on a brand new game, and it's Sonic Colors. That's still, it's not like Adventure where it's like, oh, haha, silly old game. It still feels like a modern game. It still feels like a very somewhat recent Sonic game. So it's pretty weird seeing all these glitches happen in a pretty modern game. Now, in my experience, while I was playing, I didn't experience anything really game-breaking. It was mostly just small visual effects that were glitched out, or some audio things that weren't working properly. There is the beginning of Starlight Carnival Act 3, I think, or Act 4, where Sonic he's supposed to drop down from the sky and then the level starts, but he's invisible during that part where he's supposed to be dropping down, and he just kind of appears. That happened to me, and I think it's happening to a lot of people. There are moments where when you pick up a Wisp and then use it, the proper accompanying Wisp music isn't playing, along with many other things. I could go on and on and on about all the minor glitches that have happened to me over the course of the game. And yeah, that's where this gets weird. Some people are experiencing glitches much, much worse than me. I've seen some people's games crash. I've seen some, you've probably seen the crazy, people call them seizure glitches, where the game just absolutely freaks out and colors and shapes are going all over the place, and it just looks insane. I will say, just as like a quick PSA, that glitch in particular is kind of weird in that you almost have to try to pull that off. You have to, I think, go into each world, but don't go into level, just click on the world on the home screen, go back, and then do that for all 6 worlds, and then go into a level, and then it'll start freaking out. Not defending that or saying that that should even be in the game, or that it's like, it's fine, that shouldn't be in the game, but it's not a glitch that you would experience during normal gameplay. It's one that you would have to try pretty hard to pull off. But those other glitches and all the smaller or minor bugs, pretty annoying. I don't like that they're in this game. I think it has turned Sonic Colors Ultimate from being a pretty exciting remaster, I think one that many people, even outside of the Sonic community, were looking forward to, because Sonic Colors was a game that a lot of people at the time when Sonic Colors came out allotted as like, oh, Sonic is back, where, the games, whatever opinions people had in the game, the general perception of Sonic games at the time was changing. People were like, oh, this game's really good, it got, great critical reception. Now it's just turned into, wow, that game was broken. Which leads me, as someone talking about this game on YouTube, into an interesting position of, do I recommend Sonic Colors Ultimate or not? And it's tricky. My mileage with the glitches has been very minor. I haven't had any too bad of any issues, It's been serviceable, and I can kind of like look past most of what happened to me during my playthrough. But that doesn't mean I think it's okay or that it should be there. And also, you might have a different experience. If I say you should go buy this game right now, you might just have a broken copy or something, or you might experience glitches way worse than mine. At the same time though, I can't say that it's a bad game, because it is a good game. Sonic Colors is a very good game, and this remaster does a lot of things that I really enjoy. Like I was saying, these minor tweaks. Specifically, God, that homing attack thing where you get boost if you homing attack at the right time and it plays that little sound effect, is really cool. And, you know, Rival Rush is super cool. The remixes I really like. It's a pretty good package, and it's pretty affordable, you know, $40 for a remaster. I think that's very, very generous, you know, they could have done a full 60 if they wanted to. So what I'll say is that if you are a big Sonic fan, if you gotta play every game as soon as it drops, or, you know, you just really want to play this game, I'd say, yeah, do it at your own discretion, you know, keep in mind you might experience some bugs. If you're okay with that, whatever, go for it. If you are not the type who wants to just race into this game right now, I would definitely consider holding off. They already said they're working on patches to fix some of these glitches in the game, so I'm assuming by that point the game will probably be cheaper. Obviously right now it's $40, but I imagine by the time that the glitches get ironed out, it might be like $20 to $30, at which point you can pick it up for a steal. That's your fun fact of the day. With all that said though, earlier in this video I mentioned that I gave the original colors a 6 or 7, depending on the day. Now, if they remove all the bugs, I would put it at a solid 7. Not a 6 or 7, but a strong 7. If I'm Anthony Fantano, I'm going strong 7 on this one. But, as it stands, this goes in the opposite direction for me. It's a solid 6. I would give it a 5 because the glitches are bad, but I think with the new additions to the game, it kind of balances out where it's like, it's a glitchier experience, but you can play all this cool new content, so I'm giving it a 6. Okay, I've done my obligations as the Sonic boy to talk about the Sonic game. Now I can explain where I am. I'm in college now. Isn't that something? Yes, I moved to the dorms about a week ago, I think, at this point. So yeah, been staying here for a little bit. I've been in the city for about 3 weeks. I came here with my family to just get situated for a little bit. But now I'm here in this school doing things. And yeah, I don't know, I just thought I should mention that. Got this big box of trash that you saw me move to the side at the beginning of this video. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say that because, I mean, not that I've been consistent with uploads anyway, but if things happen to get more inconsistent, this might be a reason why. But it also might be a reason why I might start uploading more, because I feel like I have a lot of free time now, and I'm in one place. Before, I was going back and forth between my mom's and dad's house, so it became a little bit hard to manage uploads during certain weeks and certain times. But now I'm just here, hanging out, so I can kind of just make videos whenever, do whatever, ignore my homework, you know, all very cool things. Should work on the background. This is looking a little bland. I have posters over there, but you can't see them. Well, I show them. There they are. You can faintly make out Sonic, and Marvel vs. Capcom, and Full Metal Alchemist, and Sonic again. Very cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the video. Let me know if you've been playing Sonic Colors Ultimate, what your thoughts are, if you've had a different experience with the glitches than me, and, you know, you've had it way worse or something. Any and all thoughts, let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Enjoy the play button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you all hopefully very soon. I have a video in mind that I want to make soon. But yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later. Peace.